I remember a friend of mine that was incarcerated, and for years she had thrown her life away in alcohol and to drugs. And I said, what was the moment that you turned your life around? She's been sober now for 21 years. And she said one day she was cleaning the toilet of the warden of the prison. And she said, while she's cleaning the toilet and she flushed the toilet, she said it was like an aha moment that she said to herself, if I stop doing drugs, I'll never have to clean a warden's toilet again. Isn't that interesting? That was like an awakening for her. And from that time to this time, she never touched a glass of alcohol. From that time to this time, she stopped using drugs. From that time to this time, she stopped associating with her friends who were still into drugs, and many to this day, those that are not in jail or those that are not dead yet. That moment, all of us have moments in our lives when it's a wake-up moment. I remember I was 10 years old and working with my mother, and she was on Miami Beach and working for families, wealthy families, and cooking for them, and we ate the food left over from these families that she cooked for. They were kind and generous people. They would say, Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can pack it up and take it home to those children that you have adopted. And I remember looking around these big, beautiful homes, and I said, Mama, and she said, Leslie, what is it? I said, one day, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. And now, where did that come from? Now, I have a twin brother, and I think that what happened for me that did not happen for my brother, the part of the mansion that he worked in, he didn't have exposure to something that I had. The owner of this home, this wealthy man, he was playing motivational messages every day. I had to keep his office clean and the ashtrays clean of his cigars, and I had to vacuum and dust the bookshelf. But while I was doing that, I was listening to these messages. We become what we think about, by Earl Nightingale. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. I did not know at the time that my mind was being programmed. See, if you look at yourself and look at your goals and look at your dreams, here's what I know. You have to really program your mind for success. You have to program it deliberately because of that exposure. My brother didn't get that. He was in another part of the house. But because of that exposure, it did something for me. It changed my mental blueprint. And I can say to you that as you take the time every day, if you didn't do anything but 1 hour a day, listen to things to build your spirit up. Listen to things to fortify your faith. Listen to things that will cause your mind to grow and to expand. I can tell you, based upon my own experience, there are things that you can do that you don't even realize.
Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going deep on you today. I'm laughing, but I'm dropping some stuff. As these young folks say, I'm dropping some knowledge up in here and teach you how to get unstuck, how to reach your goals, how to use your voice, how to make money with your voice from home. More people are working from home than in buildings now. Before the coronavirus, the corporations found a way, because of technology, that people can work from home and they don't have to pay for those large buildings, and their maintenance and the air conditioning or the heat is economically more feasible for people to work from home. Let's think about that. So this is the new economy that's being generated from home. You want to learn how to make money from home with your knowledge, with your skills, with your dream, with your voice, with your story. If you're ready to live life on your terms, come alive. You got some stuff. You're God's miracle child. You have some value. That's why you're still here. You think it's some accident that you still got a pulse, that you're not taking a dirt nap. Today is the best day of your life. What do you mean, Mr. Brown? I'm in debt up to my ears. What do you mean? I've got all types of illnesses, the conkers and the bunkers. What do you mean by that? If you don't think it's the best day of your life, try missing one. I didn't bite my tongue. I said, this is the best day of your life. Use it, take action to maximize it. Use it effectively. And when you think about yourself here, you have favor with God. There's some things we take for granted. Being here is not a given. You're here because you have a favor with God. You've been protected. You've been shielded. Nothing will prosper. None of your enemies, none of the adversities, none of the hard times in life, none of those things will conquer you, because greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You are more than a conqueror. Ooh, that's some powerful word up in there. Yeah, and you're supposed to live right here, right now. But this is the time you got to learn some new stuff. Money is being generated in a new way. How do you know this? Because I make some of it every day. And I enjoy it. I feel better when I have money. Yes, I do. I don't have to take my blood pressure medication as often. Yeah, I feel so much better when I don't owe peoples. And I don't have to disguise my voice when they call me. May I speak to Les Brown, please? I'm sorry, but he's not here. Oh, boy. I had that down pat. I know I'm not the only one. Yeah. They have caller ID now. We can see who's calling us now. Get ready to write a new chapter for your life. Get ready to live a life that will outlive you. Get ready to rob the cemetery of your gifts and talents and abilities. Get ready to be in a fight mode. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Stuff's gonna happen to you. Things are coming after you right now. Tragedies, hard times, sickness, pain, all kinds of things are coming after you right now, including blessings, including opportunities. And you want to take advantage of the opportunity and the lifetime of the opportunity. Make a move for you. Make a move for your dream. Make a move for a better future. Don't sit there watching and wasting time looking at Netflix and all that other foolishness out there. A friend of mine said, oh man, I got 500 channels on my TV. Who's got time to watch 500 channels? Herein my Father glorified that ye bear much fruit. Excuse me? No. Watching garbage day in and day out. How do you expect things to get better for you? People say, oh, garbage in, garbage out. That's a lie. Garbage in, garbage stays. It makes you unproductive. It makes you cynical. You get in a depressed state of mind. That's not real. Garbage in, garbage stays, and it shows up in your attitude, in your behavior. It blurs your vision of what's possible for you. It's a distraction. My son John Leslie was right. People pay more attention to their distractions than their destiny. You have a destiny. There's something, there's a work, there's a greater work that you're supposed to do. These things ye shall do, and greater things shall you do. In fact, you are here to do the greater things. And if you don't know that, ask somebody. Watch people who are doing the greater work and get around them and learn from them. That's what time we're here. That's the purpose. Not here just to have a good time. Yeah, you can have a good time. I have a ball. I enjoy every day. When they come to see my ashes, they'll see me smiling from the ashes. there, they cremate me. They hear me say, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, oh, stop it, stop it. Don't you make me randy, baby. He's got issues. Somebody get him some help, Tyrone. That's my squirrel friend. Tyrone said, you kicking some knowledge right now. I see, why you laugh so much? Because these walls are closing in on me, that's why. Because I can't go nowhere. The virus we've been fighting already, it's still here. And now they say there's a mutation, another one that spreads easier and kills faster. So you want to know why I'm talking to squirrels? Do you really want to know that, huh? Why don't you come visit me? I'll see you through the window, and I'll put my water hose on you through my window. My doorbell rang. Who is it? Ooh, I have a window I look through. Guys, you got a box? Boy, they take off. I come out, I have to do it like this because I get my box. And the UPS man be looking at me and say, Lord, that one touched. I crack up when I come back in the house. I have on my little Mickey Mouse underwear. I thought by now somebody would call the police. Listen, there's a senior citizen. He's outside getting his boxes from UPS, and he got on some Mickey Mouse underwear. Can you help us out here a little bit? Indecent exposure or something. Oh my God. You know laughter is good for you. 1 minute of anger. I studied psychoneuroimmunology. Psycho, the mind, neuro, the immune system. Oh boy, the nervous system. I studied that. 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. You ever notice when you get sick, people owe you money, they don't call much. They're praying that you die. So they won't have to pay. Say, well, he won't need that way he's going. I remember when I got sick when I was in Mamie, and Miss Range, she came to visit me. I said, Miss Range, she owned Range Funeral Home. I said, you know what, I appreciate your kindness, but I really don't appreciate you coming to visit me because I feel like you trying to check out my measurements. No, funeral directors and people who own funeral homes should go see people who are sick? Absolutely not. That's inappropriate. That's not nice. I thought she was checking me out. What's going on with him today? Sometimes you got to laugh. Yes, to keep from crying. I said, Lord, wake me up and tell me it's a dream. They got a mutation now to spread easier, and we got to watch out for that one, and we got to watch out for this one, and we haven't got enough vaccines and enough arms, and I got both my arms up now, and I'm scared I put them back down because I'm scared if I get a vaccine shot, I might grow a new ear out of my neck. Ooh, ooh. No, man. Your story has value. Your voice has value. You got to learn in the new economy how to earn money virtually. And this is how you do it. How to come through this computer and be able to, in the attention economy, how to attract attention, how to hold the attention through the experience that you're able to generate, and how to direct it, how to influence it, and generate moolah. But boy, if you're willing to learn, the possibility is unlimited. possibilities of what you can do. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. If you know how to attract attention, hold the attention, and direct the attention. Yeah, that's why it's a new economy, because everybody don't know how to do it. See, when you just give information, that only impacts 2 areas of the brain. But when you know how to create an experience with a story, with your personality, with your passion, with your laughter, with quotes, and a variety of other things, that impacts 5 areas of the brain. That fights dementia, Alzheimer's, and it makes you profitable. Yes, because there are people who want to invest in you. I just talked to someone who said, you know what? I want to put an extra $1 million in your pocket this year. I said, let the Lord have his way. Look at God. Yep. I said, come on, brother. Oh, yeah. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Yeah, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. No. Sometimes you need some laughter, need a smile to distract you from all this stuff. You know, the air is different right now. The air is different. Maximize this. The drama has been minimized. It's just for a moment now. It's just for a moment, but you can breathe easier. You're not waking up saying, anything happened today? No, it's just for a moment. Hard times have an expiration date, and so do good times. Let's take advantage of it. Let's get together and make something great happen. Let's get together. Let me help you get rich. Why? Because you feel better when you got some money. Do you hear me? Don't you let people tell you money is the root of all evil. People who said that didn't have any. No, he didn't go there. Yes, he did. Hello. How can he have so much energy at 75 and 76 on February the 17th? Because I love what I do. I love it. I love changing lives. I love making you laugh. I love making you feel good. I love inspiring you. I love challenging you to get out of your comfort zone. I love telling you, rob the cemetery of your talents, because somebody inspired me. This is what I was born to do. This is what I do. Nah. So don't be mad at me. What are these faces? I don't know. Okay. Ooh. All right, JJ. All right, Jonathan. Okay. Having a fat flashlight. Excuse me, a hot flash. I call them power surges. Have a wonderful day today. You deserve it, darling. This is your day. I didn't want to wait till 12 noon. I wanted to get it out now. And let me share this with you. I said it earlier. The people that you interact with most, your inner circle, I like to call it. If you look around your inner circle, family members and friends, if they don't inspire you to create the next greatest version of yourself, that's not a circle of power. That's a cage that's restricting your potential for discovering the next greatest version of yourself. Today, you have an opportunity. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve, to make a choice so that the future you, listen to me closely, the future you will say, whoa, I'm so glad that you made that choice. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. That's my story. Invest in yourself. You're worth it.
When I think about the 3 pillars of something that would be your anchor, a foundation to drive you into the future, to live a big dream, to live a big life, a mindset, what you think about, you bring about. As a man thinketh, so is he. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said that if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. If there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And I think that in many cases, governments and religious institutions have really unwittingly crushed the dreams and aspirations and the visions that people had of themselves. Not all, but a lot of them. And I think it's incumbent upon the individual to take responsibility, to develop yourself, to expand your mind and your vision, to seek out experiences. Helen Keller said life should be a daring adventure. It's boring. And start to dream. What do you want? What do you really want for your life? I remember going to Auschwitz and walking down the halls in the Nazi German concentration camps and seeing the pictures of men and women who had dreams. These people were exterminated. One of the things that I heard in my mind when I reflected on a book written by Viktor Frankl, who was there, he said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. He talked about the people who were able to survive the inexpressible cruelties of Nazism, those who either believed in God or had someone that they loved that they were determined to see, or some cause bigger than themselves. And in my case, my goal was to buy my mother a home. That was my big dream. And that caused me to read things and to listen to things, to fuel my imagination. And then to develop my skills to becoming a voice of influence. The other thing that's important is creating a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. And it started with a man, Mr. Washington, who said, a high school teacher, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. It could start with one person, and then it goes from there. I started associating with people who were doing what I wanted to do. I joined a multi-level marketing group called Best Line Products. When I heard the voice of a guy that when he spoke, it seemed like he was talking to me. I was in a hotel at a convention and Bill Bailey spoke and he was selling this dream. I didn't even know the products, but I wanted to be a part of it. And what I found, and one of the great things about multi-level marketing, is that it puts you in a community of other like-minded people. I think that's the value and the power of associations of different kinds. Associating with people who share your values, associating with people, like-minded people who have dreams, who have goals that they're working on, and being in that community. Studies indicate that one goose can fly 40% further in formation with other geese than can ever fly by itself. In fact, I'm thinking about a scientific study where they exposed some rats to electronic shock, and after they increased it, it killed them instantly. But then they put these rats in groupings with other sharks, with other rats, and then what happened was that they continued to increase the shocks of these rats, and they increased it over 10 times more, and it took far more to kill them than when it took with just one. And so there's something about being in a community of people who share your dream, who hold you accountable, who challenge you, who call you out, who can see what you can't see that you have within you, and inspire you to step up. Ebony Magazine, the late John H. Johnson, who started that with a $500 loan from his mother. And he said something in his book called Making It Against All Odds. There's no defense against an excellence that meets a pressing public need. And I suggest to you, one, work on yourself. To me, I think there are three pillars of what's required in order to carve out your place in this global economy. There are many steps, but there are three that I think that's indispensable. One is working on your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The second is of having a mindset and willing to discipline yourself, to make the sacrifice, to engage in ongoing self-study for self-growth and development, developing your communication skills. I can hear Mr. Washington now say, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Nelson Mandela said, if you speak from your mind, you speak in a language that a man can understand. But when you speak from your heart, you speak in his language. And so my goal in teaching people how to create mass appeal, how to change lives, that you have to change yourself. It starts with you. And then you begin to see from your experience how you can begin to impact and influence others and be a voice of change. And that ability really will allow you to carve out a place for yourself in the marketplace. And the methods and the techniques, the simplicity of how you language what you say. Einstein said that genius is the capacity to take the complicated and make it simple. And so when you are creating change and mass appeal, keeping it simple, but being the message that you bring, and loving it, and standing in your power, and realize that you're here for a reason. I believe to make a difference. I believe to do a great work. I believe to live a life, as Jim Rohn said, when you live your life, he said, your life can be either an example or it's a warning of what not to do, or an example of what to do and what's possible. 85% of them reach their goals because of their attitude, 15% because of their aptitude. Now, to me, that was big, because I was in special education. I was labeled educable mentally retarded. So I said, whoa, that means I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. That if I have a winner's attitude, that I've got a shot, that I could make it, that I don't have to live a life of being average. I wanted to live a life of meaning, of purpose. Being adopted, I wanted to do something for my mother. And so by listening to motivational messages and reading on a regular basis, it really taught me the value of using your time to work on yourself, to develop yourself, to really restructure your belief system for what was possible for you. It really expanded my vision of myself. And so to me, that's what it means about mass appeal, because I was working on myself. Then I started sharing it with others, and I noticed a difference in them. And I shared with them the things that I was doing because they saw the difference in me. And it's been said that a career is something you love so much you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. So as I talked with and shared with my friends what I was doing and what was possible for them, I eventually evolved into this life of where I am. And as a result, I carved out a market for myself. And because this is my passion, this is what I've spent the majority of my life doing, I've developed a level of expertise, a level of strength and power and reputation in this area that created a demand for myself. To me, one of the most important things and the first step in changing lives is to have a program for yourself. When I started on this path, that was what my goal was to change me, given my circumstances. I think that, psychologists say that we create a mental blueprint between the ages of 1 and 5, that between that time, we determine what's available for us and what's not available for us. And so, given my circumstances, being born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida, I became interested in a path of developing myself. I remember shining the shoes of Mr. Sidursky, this man that my mother worked for, very wealthy on Miami Beach. She cleaned his home and she cooked for the family and kept the children. And he listened to motivational messages unbeknownst to me. That was programming my mind, and it created a thirst within me to get on this path. I remember listening to Earl Nightingale, who said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And so to me, reading became an out. It became a tool that I used to develop myself. And not just reading for enjoyment, but reading for personal growth, reading to look at those things that I read and to apply them in my lives. And I would read sometimes at night from 60, 100 pages a night, sometimes a whole book. And then I would underline the book and I would think about them, I would memorize them, and then I would apply them. I would try them out. Because one of the things he said, they did a study of some top achievers and leaders around the world, over 3,000, to find out what was the common denominator among them that enabled them to reach their goals.
Talk about how these people can develop their story, or let them know, because I know that there's a lot of people here, and we have probably 50 different countries around the world that watch this, and a lot of them aren't aware of you yet.
Yes.
But they need to be, right? They need to know about your products and services and coaching and all that stuff. We'll talk about that. Your story, what was the defining moment, that turning point for you that set your life on a different course?
Well, what set my life on a different course was when my mother became ill. Because I was a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. I'm adopted. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. I'm telling you my story. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, "All that I am and all that I hope to be, I owe to my mother." My mother was a domestic worker on Miami Beach. She cooked for families. We ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. We wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that Mama kept. And so as a child and goal, a turning point in my life was seeing my mother work so hard. I said, Eric, when I become a man, I want to take care of my mother. I want to ask you, is there someone that you want to take care of? Is there someone that you'd like to do something special for? I want you to think about that person right now. Now, what I've done by doing that, I have segued from my story. I have now brought them into the story, and I asked them, is there someone you want to do something special for? They're saying yes. Now, that is called an imaginative leap. They leap from my story into their own story and said, yes, I know somebody. I like to do something for my coach or for my minister or for my mother or for my father or an aunt that raised me. Okay? So now they're in the story. Now I will tell them how I went about doing that. So they have an interest. Who are you? What do you have? I have a story on how I bought my mother a home. And why should I care? The reason you should care is that I've been very successful at doing something that you can do too. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So now you create a committed listening in the telling of the story. Or I can say, recently I went to a seminar. A young lady by the name of Pauline Ahi. She came to the seminar. Pauline flew from Hawaii to Los Angeles. I was very inspired as I watched her. And the reason I was inspired, here we were in a room of entrepreneurs. And the person standing in front of the room, Dr. Julie Van Putten, as she was speaking and talking about discovering your power voice, ever so often Pauline would lean forward and she'd pick up a pen with her mouth and she would write with her mouth. Pauline came from Hawaii. Pauline has no arms. Pauline has no legs. She writes with her mouth. Here's a person who decided to become an entrepreneur, who decided to build a business in multi-level marketing. And with no arms and no legs, she's building an organization. And one of the things that really got me, when Dr. Julie Van Putten interviewed Pauline, she asked her, tell me one major obstacle you had in your life. Tell me something you can think of. And Pauline looked, and she thought, and she said, I can't think of anything. And that grabbed me, because I could have given a whole lot of things, a list of obstacles. And that showed me that Elsie Robinson was right when he said things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. Even though she was born with no arms and no legs, what has happened in her that she sees herself as an empowered person. She has not decided to become a part of a job, the journey of the broke. She decided to control her own destiny by being involved in multi-level marketing. And what I said as I looked at her, if Pauline can do it, I know I can do it. And I know you can do it. Okay. So there's a
How many more you got?
So those examples, I mean, Mike Jones, I met him. Mike was earning $500 a month on Social Security. He now earns over $35,000 a month, and he does a seminar called How to Earn Over $200,000 a Year with Your Eyes Closed. He's been blind since he was 10. So all of these examples of what we see, other people's lives, we can use that as a platform to,
whether it's your story or somebody else's example that you're giving.
Yes, it's a
People say, I don't have success yet.
Yes.
They're just getting started. I haven't had success. I've been involved for 6 months. I haven't had success. But I can tell this other story and I can say, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Dexter Yeager, who was a beer truck driver. And now 50% of Amway volume comes through his organization. Dexter was just an everyday guy who decided that he wanted to live a different life for himself and for his family. And so when we look at people who are the great performers in multi-level marketing, here's what I know that they have in common too. Not only are they great storytellers, but there was a deciding moment, and that moment when they said, virtually, I've had it. I've had it. That's when people change. I used to live next door to a lady named Miss Lillian, and Mr. Marvin, every Friday night he would get drunk and beat her. And I saw her years later and said, how's Mr. Marvin doing? She said, I left him. I said, why? She said, I'd had it. I'd had it with Marvin beating on me. That's when people leave jobs and they say, well, where are you going? Away from here. I've had it. You know, I was working on a job where they paid me just enough to keep me from quitting it. I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. One where I'm celebrated rather than tolerated. I've had it living and playing small. So those kinds of examples and that kind of passion. People are not just looking for information. They're looking for personality and passion. They can get information on the internet. There are no secrets out here. You can just Google everything and find out what day the earth was made and the rock that broke Goliath's jaw. We can find everything right now. But personality and passion, that's what people want. That's what they buy into. Do you believe this? A difference between being in this business and this business being in you. That's what they feel. And the people that grow the large organizations, you can tell being in their presence that as much as they have chosen this, they were chosen for this kind of work. You've got to have a passion for people. You've got to believe in the product. You've got to believe in the industry. You've got to believe that you have it within yourself to become an entrepreneur, that it's possible that you can live your dream. That's why people say yes, that it's necessary, and that you are the driving force to make it happen, that it's you, that nobody can do it for you, nobody's going to care more about your dream than you, and that it's hard, that easy is not an option, that when you think about growing your organization, think it not strange that your family members and friends will say no. People who should be there to help you won't help you. In fact, they will discourage you. They will laugh at you. Oh, you're involved in some pyramid scheme. Here you go again. All of that's going to be a part of it. When you get on an airplane before they take off, they say fasten your seatbelt. Why? Because you're going to experience some turbulence before you reach a comfortable altitude. When you get involved in multi-level marketing, fasten your psychological seatbelts. Why? Because you're going to experience rejections and no and laughter and snickers from your family members and friends. Why? I don't know. That's just the way it is. It's possible you can live your dreams in spite of that. It's necessary for you to know that you're the one to make it happen, and that you become selective of people that you bring into the business. You don't want to convince people to do it, because person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You want people who want more, not people who need more. And that it's you. You've got to be the driving force, and it's hard, and it's worth it. Decide now. Write down 5 reasons on why you won't give up. 5 reasons when you're facing the rejections and the no's, when people don't show up at the parties, when people don't keep their word. 5 reasons why you will stick in the game. I have a saying, when life knocks you down, trying to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Your reasons will help you get back up again. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. So it's possible you can build an incredible organization, make a great living for yourself. And it's necessary. If you're casual about your dream, as Bill Bailey said, you will end up a casualty. And it's you, and it's hard, and it's worth it. And once you create that momentum, it's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done.
So it's possible.
Yes.
The second one?
Yes, and the reason it's possible, what's possible for one is possible for all. If anybody built an incredible organization, went across the stage and got a check because of their work and their effort, then it's possible that everybody seated there as witnesses can do it.
Right.
And that it's necessary.
It's necessary is number 2.
Yeah, you got to have a game plan. You got to be willing to stick it out. You got to be willing to persist. Og Mandino said you got to be willing to say, I will persist until I succeed. And, and the greatest salesman in the world. And you got to say to yourself your mantra, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Because in the beginning, things look real good. Right. And then you have a dry spell. And then you start questioning yourself. And that's what over 85% of people do. And it's you. You got to take personal responsibility. You're going from being a volunteer victim of letting somebody tell you what time to be to work, how long your lunch break will be, what time to get off, how many days you can be sick out of the year, how many days you can go on vacation, got to ask for permission. You're going from that position of powerlessness and being weak, because most people have developed an addiction to powerlessness. That's why the majority of people you ask to come into this business will say no. They have developed an addiction to powerlessness. When you're working in somebody else's job, they are controlling your financial future. So you are different. You are not common. You are uncommon when you said yes to this dream.
Yeah, stop for a second. An addiction to powerlessness.
Yes.
I've never heard it said that way. And I think that's really interesting, the way you say that. Because we've been taught.
We've been groomed and we've been taught to depend on a job, to look forward to a job. People looking for jobs in an economy where jobs are shrinking. We cannot produce enough jobs. The government cannot produce enough jobs to replace the jobs that are being eliminated through technology and cheap labor abroad. I can get a PhD in the Philippines for $500 a month. When I was a kid, I used to work in a bowling alley. They knocked the pins down, we jumped down, and we straightened the pins back up. Somebody invented a trade that put us out of business. I used to work on the elevator. What floor, please? And I would punch the elevator. No, they don't need that now. When I was in school, my girlfriend said, I want to be an operator. When you made a long distance call, you call an operator placed a call. Now you call direct. So technology is changing things, replacing whole industries. When the last time you went to the store and bought some envelopes and a stamp and some stationery and a pen to write a letter? We don't do that now. We text, we email. That's an industry that's eroding. I went to a school, Bill Gates School in Philadelphia. They don't have paper, all computer, a paperless school. That's different. When I was a kid, we carried books to school. So this is the era the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. What we have in multi-level marketing is cooperation and collaboration, people working together in a community of achievers to help everybody win. That's the exciting thing, that when I help you win, then I win also.
So, many people in Finland right now want to know a little bit about you.
Yes.
And I know that many also know about you already. But can you tell us your story in a short?
Well, I was born in a poor section in the United States of Miami, Florida, called Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted. And when I was in the 5th grade, I was identified as EMR labeled educable mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and I failed again when I was in the 8th grade. I don't have any college education, but because of my mother, and I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hoped to be, I owe to my mother. She inspired me to want to achieve more and to do more and to provide for her, because of the fact that she adopted altogether not only myself and twin brother, but also 5 other children. And so when I look at my life and my story, my mother worked on Miami Beach as a domestic worker, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And I used to say to her, working in these big, beautiful homes, I said, Mama, and she said, what is it? I said, one day, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. And I did do that. And so because of her example, because of her unstoppable spirit and her faith, I contribute that to being who I am now, to making me become the person that I have become.
What has your mission in life been, or what is it?
My mission in life has been, and still is to give people a vision of themselves beyond their mental conditioning and their circumstances, to let them know that they have greatness within them. But Han, greatness, it's not our destiny. It's a choice that you have to make every day. You have to put yourself in a state of perpetual discomfort in order to manifest your greatness. You've got to reach outside of your comfort zone. So every day I look forward to the opportunity to inspire people to reach higher, to understand and know that what they've done is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for them.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in the first audio program I ever had.
Yes, that you have greatness within you, and to prove it that you were chosen 1 out of 400 million sperms. Yes.
First big victory.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want you to write this down. Choosing your future.
It's a program that we've created that's designed to put in place for you to work on yourself. A systematic process that changes your mindset. It's possible, it's necessary, it's you, it's hard, it's worth it, it's done. It's 6 CDs. Repeat after me, please. It's possible. Yeah, see, the easiest thing that I do now is come up on stage and speak to you. That's easy. But the most difficult thing that I've ever done, and it took me years to do, was to believe that I can do it. To believe that I could stand up and not be afraid and speak from my heart and think and be able to present. To believe that that was possible for me. For 14 years, I didn't do it. Mike Williams said, Les, you can do more than what you're now doing. But I didn't believe it. I just couldn't see myself doing it. I'm saying to you, there's some things that you can accomplish that you can't see right now. My favorite book says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you when you're willing to say yes, when you're willing to move forward, when you're willing to come back again and again and again in pursuit of your dream. Life will respond to you. You'll discover some things about yourself. Mindset transformation is very important. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You don't want to think like everybody else. You want uncommon thinking. Here's the other thing. Expand your skill set. This is the age of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's. Accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. So you have to expand your skill set to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. When I was a kid, you got on an elevator, I was an elevator boy. What floor, please? We operated elevators manually. So then we're going through creative destruction. Somebody created an elevator that didn't require a person being there employed to close the door and take the people to the designated floor. When I was a kid, girls would say, what do you want to do when you become an adult? I want to be an operator, a long-distance operator. Years ago, when you made a long-distance call, you had to call a long-distance operator. Then somebody created technology that you can dial direct. Am I making this up? Anybody remember use that call a long-distance operator? It's called creative destruction. Somebody created technology that we don't have to do that anymore. So today, what multi-level marketing does allow you to secure your future, to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. You can hire a PhD or an MBA in the Philippines or India for $2.60 an hour. So what you're doing is you're staying ahead of the game because we're going through continuously creative destruction. Think about Mr. Washington. Young man, yes, sir. What do you want to do with your life? I want to buy my mother a home, sir. I want to take care of my mother. You do? Yes, sir. I want to make my mother proud. How can you say you want to make your mother proud and you were in the dean's office the other day for fighting? Sir, they call me DT, the dumb twin. So you're going to fight them? Yes, sir. Why, Brown? Why? Anger is the wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. How do I get even, sir? Tell me. They pick on me all the time because it takes me longer to learn things than others. I'm not like my sister at the University of Miami. I'm not like my brother. They always compare me to him. Mr. Brown, you want to get even? Yes, sir. He said, you have a good memory, young man. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, sir. Remember these words by Frank Sinatra. The best revenge is massive success. Become massively successful. That's how you become even. Thank you, sir. Mr. Brown? Yes, sir. Why did you sign those papers? What are you talking about? You're the first student in special education that was labeled educable mental retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. You failed in the 8th grade. I fought for you. I saw something in you. You've got greatness in you. I know you're not as fast as your brother. I know you're not like Margaret Ann, your sister. But there's a hunger in you, sir. And I fought for you to get that, and I saw your name. I couldn't believe it. Well, you signed it to somebody else. Why did you do that? Several teachers met with me and said that you wouldn't be with me at Florida A&M University to help me. Mr. Washington, they said if I didn't make the honor roll at Booker T. Washington High School, I would not make it at Florida A&M. You've been like a father to me. I never would want to bring embarrassment to your name. Mr. Brown, I know it's harder for you. But once you learn something because of your hunger, you got it. You master it. He said, I don't care what they said. But did you believe that you could go there and graduate? To be honest with you, sir, no, sir. Not without you, sir. Mr. Brown? Yes, sir. Listen to me. Yes, sir. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Whoever recruited you to become involved in their organization, they saw something in you. Whoever asked you to be a part of their team, they saw greatness in you. See, you need people in your life who can see things that you can't see. You want to find whoever got you in the business and say to them, thank you. I told Robert Boyd, who recruited me for Best Line Products, thank you, Bob. I don't know what you saw, but I'm not going to disappoint you. You find whoever recruited you, because you are looking for eagles in this business. You're not looking for people who need more. You're looking for people who want more. Let us say together, it's possible. Everybody together, it's possible. I can live my dreams. I will work on myself every day. I will retrain my thinking every day. I will listen to audio programs. I would read 10 to 15 pages of something positive every day. I will turn off my television and turn on my life. Let us say together, it's necessary to detoxify your life.